Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our April TBR video. I decided to throw it back a few months to when I had you guys help pick my TBR for the month. So I posted a few Instagram stories with the little emojis that correlate to the books, I think like last week, and you guys chose between the two. Obviously, you guys chose blindly, but again, the emojis correlate to the books. And there's a couple of reasons why I decided to do it this way this month. We will get into that after a word from today's sponsor. Thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. So if you haven't heard of Book of the Month, it is one of my favorite packages to receive ever. Their mission is to help readers find books they love while also promoting the work of emerging authors. Each month the editorial team reads through hundreds of new titles and they pick some of the best new books for you to choose from. One thing that I absolutely love about Book of the Month is that they find books and new titles that you otherwise wouldn't have really found on your own. I found some of my favorite books through Book of the Month that I have such great choices, and it helps readers step out of the normal genres that they read. I was primarily a romance reader before I started using Book of the Month, and really helped me step into the mystery and thriller world because they give us such great choices each month. They have highly anticipated releases at the beginning of each month, and it also comes in this wonderful, beautiful blue box that I love seeing get delivered to my house. If you also haven't heard, they also recently released curated audiobooks in addition to the hardcovers. You can choose, download, and listen to right in the Book of the Month app. And now that they have two formats, each month you can choose whether you want to do the audiobook or the hardcover for that month. So into the books that I got this month, they had such good options for this month. I didn't know which ones to choose, but like I said, I really love the mystery and thrillers that they give. So the first one I got is by Sally Hepworth. It is called Darling Girls. It says revenge is sweet. I'm also kind of obsessed with this cover. It says when a body is discovered under the home they grew up in, the foster sisters find themselves thrust into the spotlight as key witnesses, or are they prime suspects? Very excited about this one, but I think I am just a little bit more excited about this new release because this is one of my favorite mystery YA thriller authors, and that is the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I was so excited to see Book of the Month had this as an option. The case of Rachel disappearing 16 years ago is dragged up from the past when Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end, for life to go back to normal, and then the impossible happens. Rachel Price reappears and life will never be normal again. If you're interested, you guys can go to bookofthemonth.com to pick a book and join Book of the Month. You can also join and get your first book for just $5 with the code PASTEL. All that information, the link, the code, and everything will be in my description, so highly recommend. They have such great options all the time. Thank you, Book of the Month, for sponsoring today's video. Back into our TBR for April. So the first reason I wanted to do it this way for this month is because I wanted to be able to kind of choose the books that I wanted to have on my TBR. Obviously, you guys have the ultimate decision of which one wins, but I wanted to be able to curate the choices for this month, where I feel like the scratch off cards are really fun to get different prompts and then pick, or just have different books that are all over my physical TBR kind of chosen through that. But I wanted to be able to kind of see and pick out the books I wanted to read for this month for the sake of some videos I'm filming. Also, you'll see that every book that I posted on the Instagram stories are on my physical TBR. There's not any that I don't have or are on Kindle or anything. Well, these may be on Kindle, but for the sake of trying to get through my physical TBR this month, all of these have come from my physical TBR of books that I already own. The other reason is because I have another fun video that I'm starting to film, I think today, and we need this video for that video. So very vague, but you guys will see maybe next week. I think I'll be uploading it while we're doing this TBR video. We're gonna get right into it. Again, I posted these Instagram stories, so thank you guys if you participated. Also, another reason is I just love having your guys' input on this. I feel like we both can get really excited for this video because you guys want to see what's under the emojis, which ones you guys picked. I like having you guys give input and you guys interact with them, so I love doing it this way. Maybe we'll switch it up every few months. Let's get into the books that are under these emojis, why I picked these emojis, which ones won. I haven't looked at anything, so I don't know any of the books that have won. Let's get into it. First story, the emojis on the left book, we have the little emoji guy kind of peeping through his eyes, kind of looking through his eyes, and then a girl. So that book on the left side, I actually don't remember, so that's good. That book on the left was Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. I put the little peeping emojis because like invisible, like can't really see, and then obviously the girl emoji for the word girl. So I felt like that was kind of correlated pretty well to this book. I'm pretty sure this is a mystery book, mystery/thriller. I feel like she's really good at like suspense in her novels. I've read I think 3 of her books, and I really enjoy her writing style and the way she kind of like sets up her story. So I recently bought this and I'm very excited to eventually get to it maybe. And then the emojis on the right side are the gasping emoji and then the waving emoji, and I feel like I kind of did a good job with these emojis as well because that is the reappearance of Rachel Price. I put the gasping because oh my god, Rachel Price is back, and then waving because like hey, what are you doing here? I felt like those emojis kind of correlated pretty well to this book, but this is one of my Book of the Month choices from this month. You guys saw what it was about. So those are 2 options for our first book on the TBR. Let's see the percentages that we got. Again, I haven't seen anything, so I don't know what has won. Okay, so the left has 62% and the right has 38%. That makes Invisible Girl our winner. I really am so excited to read this. I honestly would have been happy with either one of these winning. I love Lisa Jewell's writing. I really enjoy the way she writes her novels. So this is our first book on our April TBR. Where should I put these? I feel like I'm just gonna Just gonna put them back there. Okay. So this next one had a lot of people confused. Honestly, I would have said the same thing and I would have guessed the same book because I feel like when I put these emojis, a lot of people try to guess what's underneath them before obviously I tell you guys. So on the left, we had the number 5 emoji and then a knife. So I feel like if I saw this, I would have assumed it was 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. Like that's just giving exactly what that book is saying. It is not 5 Survive. I don't have that book, but it is 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corland. I got the arc of this. I'm not too sure when it comes out. May 7th. So it doesn't come out just yet, but I got this. I read the summary of it and I immediately put it on my physical TBR. Obviously I put it on my physical TBR, but like kind of like more on like the immediate TBR because I feel like the summary of this is so interesting. It says only one can take the crown. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective, to kill the god King June. For these 5 killers, each versed in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not enough to forge an alliance. To survive, they'll have to find a way to trust each other, but only one can take the crown. Let the best liar win. I don't know what it was about that summary or just like having these 5 main characters kind of try to beat the king. I don't know. It sounded really interesting to me, so I really wanted to put this on to my TBR. And again, 5 Broken Blades, I feel like it kind of made sense. Maybe I should have put the sword emoji, maybe not the knife, to give like it's more fantasy than like thriller, mystery, murder. I mean, murder is part of the summary, but I understand why people thought this was 5 Survive. It is not. It is 5 Broken Blades. And then the emojis on the left side are 2 people emojis together, and then the little devil looking smiley evil emoji. And that book is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maurer. I'm not too sure how to say her last name, but I've had this for a very long time. I think this is, yeah, I got the arc for this when this came out or before this came out, and I've always been intrigued by this. And then I saw a bunch of people were reading it. They really enjoyed it. They said it's kind of like gives more of like a comedy to it, and I'm pretty sure this is literally about the assistant to a villain, and again it has like kind of like a comedic feel to it. So I've been wanting to read this for a while. I think this could be like a really good kind of like entertaining read, but put the 2 people emojis because these 2 people, I'm assuming the assistant and the villain together, and then the little evil emoji because the villain. So those are the 2 books for our next story. Let's see which one won. Oh, okay, so this is 50-50, which I feel like has never happened before. Now we're gonna have to go to the exact number of people who voted, because usually it'll say 50-50, but there's like maybe like a couple that are off and it'll like put that percentage in, whatever. However the Instagram decides to do the math. Let's do the math here. Hold on. Okay, so the left has 256 more votes, which I guess is not really counted. I'm not sure again how Instagram does the math on the percentages. That makes left our winner, which makes me really excited. So 5 Broken Blades is on our April TBR. I'm really hoping to get to this. If you guys wanted to know, last month I read 5 out of 7. Was there 7 on my TBR? I didn't read 2. So I read 5 out of 7. I really tried to finish the last 2, but I just wasn't in the mood for them and I didn't want to force myself to read them, but I feel like I did a pretty good job reading majority of that. You guys will have to wait for my wrap up to see which ones I've read and my thoughts and stuff. So next book on the TBR is 5 Broken Blades. This is gonna fall for sure. Why don't I just use my TBR cart? There we go. They're right here. I feel like this one was a little bit obvious, at least the one on the left for our next story, and that is a bear and a city. Now, they didn't have a picture of a town, but I feel like I got it pretty direct to what the book is, and that is Bear Town by Frederick Bachman. I've been wanting to read this for a while. I've seen such amazing things about this and his writing style. I don't know too much about what it's about. I think it's just like a contemporary fiction novel, but it's kind of like, I don't really want to read the summary of it. Honestly, I'd rather go into this one a little bit blind, but I've heard such great things that I have really high hopes for this, and I'm really highly anticipating this book. Feeling like I might love it. I don't really know. And then on the left side we have a kind of broken heart emoji, not like the one that's like down the middle. You guys see, it's bandaged, a bandaged heart, and then a ring. And that book is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Again, I've seen so many good things about this book that it's kind of like deeper than your normal romance novel, and that's what I love in some romance novels, is when it kind of gets like a little bit deeper than like our surface level kind of rom-comming. And don't get me wrong, I love rom-coms. When it has a little bit of a deeper meaning, a deeper messaging within the romance, I eat it up. So this one I believe is about a broken marriage, but they have to co-parent together, and I think they try to like kind of find their way back to each other. These are 2 books for this Instagram story, so let's see which one's going on our TBR. Left got 48% and right got 52%, which makes Before I Let Go onto the TBR. I'm really excited about this one. I just bought this recently too because someone in the bookstore told me that they really enjoyed it, and I've been seeing so many good things about this. And I've also really wanted to read a Kennedy Ryan book, so perfect choice for our next book on the TBR. Our next story, the emojis on the left are a chapel wedding emoji and then a girl going like this, like no wedding, that's really where my mind was going. So that book is Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. This is her newer release that just recently came out. It's also an adult romance, and it's about two people who kind of like come together to break up weddings. I think that's like their little mission that they go on. So that's why I put the wedding emoji and then like the little girl going like this, because she's saying no weddings, we're breaking up the wedding. So that is the one that is on the left, and then on the right we have two little heart emojis and then a school, a college if you will. So that book is Already Falling by Angelica Rose. The author actually kindly sent me this book, and I think the cover is just adorable. So I put this on my TBR just to have kind of like a rom-com-y type of romance to include on the TBR to kind of mix up the other genres that I have going on here. So I'm pretty sure this is a coming of age story, and it takes place, is it during college or after college? Her childhood crush suddenly appears in her life, spiraling her plan out of control. College was supposed to be straightforward. Now Anika is second guessing everything and struggling with deciding what is the right thing to do. Reed never thought he'd see Anika again, facing heartbreaks, building relationships, and learning to chase their fears along the way. How many times can they push each other away before they never come back? So we have a coming of age one and then an adult romance, but I feel like not that they give off the same vibes, but just like this type of romance. So let's see which one won. Left got 47%, right got 53%. So that makes Already Falling by Angelica Rose our next book on the TBR. Very excited to have just a romance added to the TBR. Next ones, I feel like not the one on the left, but the one on the right was a little bit obvious. I feel like I did pretty good with those emojis. The emojis on the left was a bunch of flowers and then a little magic wand, and that was The Unmaking of June Faroh by Adrienne Young. This is one of the books I did not read in March. This was on my March TBR and I didn't get to it because I tried to start it and I wasn't in the mood for it, and I feel like this is one of the books that I'm highly anticipating and I really want to be in the mood when I start it because I feel like I would end up really enjoying it because of what I've seen about it. So I wanted to give it a fair chance. This one I put flowers because I'm pretty sure the family had a flower farm. The Faroh women are known for their thriving flower farm, and then I put the little magic wand because it says that they're also known for the mysterious curse that has haunted them for generations. So I was like, you know, curse, magic, I don't know. That's the emoji I put for this one. And then the one on the right is where I think I kind of nailed the emojis that I chose for this book. I put a city and I put a bone. And if you put those two together, what do we get? City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This one, I don't know which one won obviously, but I feel like this one won because so many people have been wanting me to start the series. I'm so deep into so many series right now at this point. Why not get into a really long one? I've been putting this one off because the series is so long. There's interconnected books. I didn't want to start a long series just yet, but again, like I said, at this point I'm in the middle of so many. What's another one? So I put this one on there, and I don't know anything about what this is about. I just know you're supposed to start with this one. So this is the book that's on the right side. So let's see which one won. Oh, okay, so this is very interesting. I thought that this one was gonna win by a landslide, but left got 65% and the right got 35%, which makes The Unmaking of June Faroh a book that will be back onto my TBR, which I'm actually really excited about. I'm hoping I'll be in the mood for this one this month because, again, I have such high hopes and high expectations that I feel like I'm gonna love it. But I am super, super surprised that City of Bones did not win. I honestly thought that that one was gonna be like winning by a landslide because of how many people want me to read it, but I am happy The Unmaking of June Faroh did win. I really want to get to that book. Our next emojis, the one on the left is a question mark and a blonde woman, and that is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This one's been on my physical TBR for a while and I've heard great things about it, but I've also heard people kind of warning me, like giving me kind of like the trigger warnings for this book because it does get pretty heavy. So I've kind of put it off, especially last month. I read a couple heavier books, so I didn't want to get to this one or didn't want to pick this one up, but I've been really wanting to read it because I've heard great things about it as well. So I put the question mark because this is a mystery, and then the woman just because it says girls on here. I just took that one straight from the title. It says the vanishing of a teenage girl and the killing of a middle-aged man, almost a quarter century apart. What could connect them? Again, heard great things about this one, but also it gets a bit heavy. And then the one on the right, I put a little neighborhood and then I put a little mystery like detective, and that one is A Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. I've had this on my TBR for a bit. I don't remember which video it was in, but if you guys remember, I have another book with the cover that looks just like this, and I thought I had this book on my TBR for the longest time, and I've always wanted to read it because I've heard great things about it, but turns out didn't have this book. It was a whole different book. So I ended up buying this a few months ago and it's been on my TBR ever since. I always forget about it. I never really reach to this when I'm in a mystery mood, so I feel like the best way is to see if you guys will pick this for me because I feel like that'll be the easiest way to get it on my TBR is if you guys tell me to read it. So Shelby goes missing, and then Meredith and her 6-year-old daughter Delilah vanish just blocks away from where Shelby was last seen. Now 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returned. That sounds very interesting. Again, heard great things about this one as well. Let's see which one has won. So the left got 38% and the right got 62%, which makes Local Woman Missing the winner for this one on the TBR. Again, excited about either one of these. I feel like I would have been happy with either one winning because I've heard, again, amazing things, and I've been in such a mystery thriller mood recently. I don't really know what's been going on, but I've been really eating them up and loving the suspense of thrillers recently. So very excited about this one. All right, we are on to our last one. So these ones don't really correlate together with genre, but honestly don't know why I put them together. I feel like they made sense out of all of these to go together. I don't know, you'll see. So the one on the left is a woman and then a knife, and that one is Finley Donovan is Killing It. This one I recently picked up. I've seen good things about the audiobook on this one, so I feel like if this one wins, I'll probably listen to maybe majority of it, if not all of it. It's basically about this woman who I think she's becomes like a killer. Oh, she doesn't become, well, hold on. She's mistaken for a contract killer when she is overheard discussing the plot of her new suspense novel with her agent, and then she discovers that crime in real life is a lot more difficult than its fictional counterpart and becomes tangled in a murder investigation. So I feel like this is gonna give the murder plot of this like that serious topic, and then also the comedy, the comedic effect within it. That's what this is giving. But that's the book on the left side. Then on the right is a hockey stick and a hockey puck and a heart. So I feel like you guys can probably assume this is gonna be some sort of hockey romance, right? You're correct. That is The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I've had this on my TBR, I think, since it like recently came out a few months ago, and I've been wanting to read it, but this is another book that I haven't really like reached for or wanted to pick up. But I feel like, again, one of the ways I'll probably get to it is if it's chosen for my TBR. So this, if you don't know, follows the child, I forget of which one. I think the first book in the off-campus series, their child is the main girl in this book, and she's also a hockey player, and I think the coach is the main guy from off-campus, like her dad. Very interesting storyline. I don't think I've ever read a book where I've read like the series of the main couples and then read the children. Like I know that the Addicted Calloway sisters have the spin-off of the children, but I never read that one, so I'm very excited to see like how I like that. But that's if this one wins. This one was really close. So left got 49% and right got 51%, which makes The Graham Effect our winner. Again, pretty excited about this one, and also to add like another romance to our TBR. So that is all 7 books that were chosen for the TBR. Here are the ones that did not win really quickly, but again, I say this, I feel like when I used to do these videos frequently, the books that don't win, you may see me reading this month. I've been trying really hard to stick to my physical TBR and the books that are picked through my TBR videos, but sometimes I switch it up and read a book that's not on my physical TBR, and these books may possibly be read because obviously they were high up on my radar to be put up against these other books. Here are the books that were officially chosen for April TBR. You guys will see these probably in a few videos this month, if not obviously in my wrap up. Hopefully, I feel like I've been doing a really good job of trying to stick to the TBR that's chosen in these videos. So we have Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell, Five Broken Blades by Mai Corland. I think most excited about this one. I don't know why. The summary was just really interesting and it feels like it's gonna be very entertaining, high stakes, and really fun. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. So excited to read my first book by her. Already Falling by Angelica Rose. Again, excited to have a little romance on the TBR. The Unmaking of June Faroh, another extremely highly anticipated read. I'm 98% sure I'll be reading this month, so I'm very excited about it. Local Woman Missing, been in my mystery thriller era. Very excited about this one. And then we have The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. Of course, just a little romance to add to this, a little hockey romance. That is the TBR. Let me switch this around. That is the TBR for the month of April. I like doing this kind of video again because I've chosen all these books that go against each other, so whichever one won I was excited for because it was really a 50-50 of which one was gonna win. Thank you guys so much if you participated in the Instagram stories. Let me know if you guessed the books that were underneath correct or not, and if you've read any of these books, your thoughts on any of them. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of TBR video because I will probably throw it in a few months throughout the year of doing this one. I love doing TBR videos. I love watching TBR videos, but I want to switch it up a little bit for a few different reasons, like I said. But very excited about this month's TBR. Stay tuned for videos including these books, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you did, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!